real job of a leader is not about being in charge, it's about taking care of those in our charge. When we're junior, our only responsibility is to be good at our jobs. That's all we really have to do. And if you're good at your job, they'll promote you. And at some point, you'll get promoted to a position where we're now responsible for the people who do the job we used to do, but nobody shows us how to do that. We have to go through this transition of being responsible for the job and then turning into somebody who's now responsible for the people who are responsible for the job. We all have the capacity to be a leader. Doesn't mean everybody should be a leader, and it doesn't mean everybody wants to be a leader. And the reason is because it comes at great personal sacrifice. Remember, you're not in charge, you're responsible for those in your charge.
Big leaders only have to do a few things. Big leaders have to identify the big ideas. They have to enforce tough execution against those big ideas. And they need to grow the next generation of leaders. That's really it.
And the easiest, fastest, and most powerful way to tell them isn't to tell them grandiose stories about what we're doing. It's to show them a simple answer. The answer to the question, who? Who is served by the work that we do?
One of the things that we have to remember, and I think young people don't realize this, is when someone gives you a shot, when they decide to put you on a stage and give you a microphone, or if they give you a job, or if they open a door for you or make an introduction for you, you don't have to prove yourself because you've already been vetted. Somebody else has already said, I mean, you see this in new employees all the time. The company Chanel, they have this rule that I absolutely love, that new senior executives are not allowed to speak in meetings for the first 90 days of their employment. They want you to shut up and listen. And the reason they do that is because new employees so often feel they have to talk in every meeting to prove that you made the right choice to hire them. They're like, we know you're smart, we hired you.
When you are both a great leader and a great manager, you are able to give your team, company, or business a competitive advantage. To be both a great leader and a great manager, you must first know how to communicate well. Always take feelings into consideration. There's a person behind every project and business, after all. So make sure that you listen and explain your decisions and conclusions or methodology clearly. Great leaders also know when to admit that they're wrong and give credit where credit is due. You don't want to be that manager that takes full credit for the work of the team simply because you're leading the ship to shore.
Leadership only exists if people follow when they would have the freedom to not follow. Otherwise, it's just power, and power is not leadership.
I believe that leadership is really a skill of influence. It is the most important skill that any human being can master. And I don't think of leadership as a position. I see it as a skill, a tool that all of us have to have. In other words, the quality of your life, I really believe, comes down to your level of leadership. Other people don't have to follow you to be a leader, but you have to live life on your terms. And the first person you have to influence is yourself. So I think to be able to influence the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, and the actions of another human being, that's what leadership is. And quality leadership, obviously authentic leadership, is one where it's servant leadership. You're looking to influence those thoughts, feelings, emotions, and actions for a greater good, not just for yourself. And I think the people that master that are the people that you know about. I mean, they're the captains of industry. They're people that are celebrities because they learned how to influence people. They are some of the greatest teachers, some of the greatest scientists, because you can't just come up with ideas. Ideas will die on your lips unless you become a person of influence. And that's what leadership is.
Leadership is an art. So it's not like today you learn this, you do it tomorrow, it happens. It's not like a magic trick, right? It's a process. It's a process of earning trust, being the role model where you walk the talk of balancing between result and relationship, making decisions. So people say, okay, these are not words, this is who he is, this is who she is.
I had a teammate that spoke to me and said, hey, Cole, I just want to feel like as a teammate, you need me. Duh, yeah, of course. But I had to kind of think about where that was coming from for him and his story and his journey and what that meant to him. And that opened my eyes to there's a bigger game being played. It's not just basketball, but it's the emotions of each individual and the backstory that they're carrying with them, the baggage that they're carrying with them. And if I really want to be a champion and be a great teammate, I have to understand what those mean to help them become better and in turn, help me.
Why does a person not take a decision? Because he lacks confidence. Why does he lack confidence? Because he lacks professional knowledge and competence. When I was the army chief, I'd go around, ask my generals, what are you doing about this? And he said, sir, I've been thinking, I've been considering. And then I produced for myself a manic showism. I used to say, if you must be a bloody fool, be one quickly. Take a decision and then accept full responsibility for it. In the country, because somebody won't take a decision, costs escalate, papers lie in somebody's place for days, for months, for years. And when they finally take a decision, the cost of a project, the cost of something has gone up tenfold. Who suffers? We, the people of India, suffer.
But leadership can be shown in so many different ways. We should never underestimate the leadership quality in, I'd say, just about everybody in our group. I would say that over the years, I would always see leadership coming from all different angles. From fellas maybe who never got a game, there were subs, but the way they carried themselves, their body language, the way they drive the thing forward, the way they encourage each other, the way they never, ever, ever kind of sulk or say what's the point. That sense of team, that sense of spirit, the sense of spirit that they bring to the whole group. That's huge leadership as well. We should never, ever, ever underestimate anyone's ability to improve what you're looking for and to drive the thing forward.
What people think is they've got to have some kind of a title or position to be a leader. And so they say, well, I don't have a leadership position, so I'm not a leader. Well, you and I both know the position doesn't make you a leader anyway. It gives you a chance to practice leadership, but it doesn't make you a leader. So what I tell people is this: leadership is influence. So how do I increase my influence? Because if I influence 10 and next month I influence 20, wow, I've doubled my leadership influence. And so how do I do that? And it's a very simple answer. To increase your influence, you have to intentionally add value to people.